Hello and welcome. This is your Saturday News. I'm your host, Keith Lander, coming to you from the Tabernacle Baptist Church studios right here in Dayton, Ohio. Welcome. I welcome all your comments from the previous shows. Just keep them coming. I like that criticism, and some of it is constructive. And if you want to offer some advice, I'll take that too. But this is Black History Month, February, and in Black History Month, it's a reflection of the achievements and accomplishments and some of the struggles that African Americans had faced in the past. And there was a lot of struggles, and that paved the way for us to do what we're doing now. So as we reflect on Black history, you got to understand the old saying: if you don't understand history, you're bound to repeat it. Or I think that's the way that phrase goes. So take this time out, especially this month, to reflect on what African Americans have achieved in the past, look at what's happening in the present, and basically into the future, and especially the youth, because they don't know. They don't know what took place, and when they had the colored water fountains and the white water fountains, and things were segregated, and black folks couldn't get into certain hotels and all this kind of thing. So, check that history out. That's a strong history. Our history is our foundation. If you don't have a good grasp of history, and your history, that is, especially African Americans, then you don't have a good foundation of self-awareness. So as we reflect on February, Black History Month, do your part. Go read a book, watch a documentary, just educate yourself on what we've been through, and then you realize, we don't want to go through that anymore. Speaking of Black history, we have Black Lives Matter Dayton, Carlos Bruford. Welcome to the show, Carlos.
How you doing there, Keith?
Now, Carlos, Black Lives Matter Dayton, when did you start your organization?
Well, first I want to thank you for allowing me to come on to this broadcast. We started Black Lives Matter Dayton on May 25th, 2019. That was the exact same day that the Ku Klux Klan had their rally downtown Dayton. And so that was actually our launch date for Black Lives Matter Dayton on that same day. And so that's when we got it started.
Well, Carlos, a lot of people, maybe they don't understand that Black Lives Matter, it was a response to the injustice that these police officers who were shooting and killing unarmed black citizens and walking free and not held responsible. Black Lives Matter was a call to hold these individuals responsible. Is that correct?
Yes, Black Lives Matter is in response to police killings of black people, unarmed black people, and they were not getting indicted nor convicted. Well, they were getting indicted, but they were not convicted. And so that's what Black Lives Matter is, a response to the movement to make sure that black people get justice for killings by police officers.
Yeah, and some would say that, some of the response you get when people say Black Lives Matter, we hear other folks say, well, Blue Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. Well, okay, that's fine and dandy, but Black Lives Matter, the people who I know that is representing organizations in Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter is not anti-police. Is that correct, Carlos?
Absolutely. Black Lives Matter is not anti-police, and that has been stated nationally on television, but still we got right-wing talk show hosts and the political spectrum saying that we are anti-police. That is not true. We are definitely for policing. We just want the correct policing in our communities. And so Black Lives Matter is pushing for accountability through that policing. And when there's no accountability, that's when we move. And that's why we started Black Lives Matter Dayton.
Yeah, now what would be your response? Back when Black Lives Matter, they had these hearings, public hearings in Congress and all this other kind of thing about Black Lives Matter. And then there was one congressman, and I can't think of this person's name, but he was a white person, congressman, he wanted to put the Black Lives Matter group on a terrorist watch list. Now, get this, you got folks out there that are nothing more than just the Ku Klux Klan, but they go by Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, you got the Skinheads, and you got some other groups out there. That ain't nothing but an offshoot of the Klan. They just trying to fancy up the name. There's no piece of legislation to put them on a terrorist watch list. Is that correct, Carlos?
That's correct. When I think of people, more so, and I don't speak in absolutes. In other words, I'm not broad brushing. However, white America, they always seems to want to paint black movement as terrorists, anti-police, and that's not what we're all about. It's about justice. It's a movement. And so for them to try to categorize Black Lives Matter as a terrorist group, that is totally appalling. And they know that. And so that's just their way of trying to turn our narrative into their narrative, which is what we're not going to let happen.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, when you've seen the riots that the Trump supporters back on January 6th that they caused at the state capitol. You've seen where they beat up police officers, killing one officer, Brian Snickwick, killing a man, beating another police officer across the head with a fire extinguisher. What would you think if black folks would have attacked the police like the Trump supporters attacked the police and killed a police officer and tried and were chanting, hang Mike Pence, which is the Vice President of the United States, and also they were in the crowd saying they wanted to shoot Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi in the head. They wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. These people, you're talking about terrorists. So what would you think if black folk would have done what these white Trump supporters did? What would you think would have happened?
That narrative will be totally different if black people had been the ones that stormed the D.C. Capitol. One thing I do see, that's the biggest hypocrisy of it all. With these Republican leaders, as of today, they're still running around scratching their heads talking about what they're going to do about even a senator, or a congresswoman who stated emphatically that Nancy Pelosi should be assassinated, okay? And to me, it really rings forth that, you know, when we do something as black people, they treat us totally different, and they know it, and we know it. And so that's why we're here even in talking and conversations and also knocking on the doors of our leaders. You are going to do something about what has happened, because if it was us, black people, doing that, they would still be picking up bodies right now as we speak.
Yeah. And what we always say, if we don't like the politician and what the politician is engaged in, there's a chance to vote that politician out.
That's right.
Black folks ain't never stormed the Capitol and on a lie like these people and tried to kill people. No, we voted. We had enough common sense to go vote and vote the person out and vote somebody in office who was willing to do the will of the people, all the people. So those fools who went to Washington, you're in jail now. Donald Trump is in Florida. How'd that turn out? But anyway, we'll move on, Carlos. When we talk of racism, should we also have a conversation, a true conversation on white supremacy? Because it seems like that's always left out.
White supremacy, I call it also white terrorism. That's what it is, white terrorism, right here in our own country. That not only should be a conversation, but there should be some accountability behind all of this, okay? And to piggyback on what you were saying about those folks that were at the Capitol, to me, that's white terrorism, okay? Just found out that some of them that were there knocking down doors, killed a police officer, went into offices, some of them didn't even vote. But yet they were out there talking about they're going to steal the vote, and they themselves didn't vote. So the question becomes, why were they there? And so, to me, they were there to terrorize because their man didn't get the votes. And to me, it really speaks volumes that white terrorism is real and it needs to be dealt with harshly. Not with no baby glove, it needs to be dealt with harshly. And that's what we're going to have to do on our side to make sure we push our leaders to make sure that they speak their mind and be real and be honest. Because at the end of the day, if it was us, it wouldn't be no question as to how they're going to deal with it.
Now, Carlos, you went to the Million Man March, the first one, right?
No.
You didn't go to the first one? I thought maybe you went to the first one.
I went to the
anniversary.
The anniversary
Right.
of the March on Washington.
Okay.
It was the get off our necks Washington March on Washington back in August,
Right, well-
with Al Sharpton.
Yeah, now you've seen the Million Man March like we all did. Million black men that Minister Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam head leader, called to air grievances. You think over 1 million black men in that mall, right? We went there, they went to air their grievances. You didn't see any destruction. You didn't see any attacks on the police. You didn't see any looting. You seen 1 million black men act peacefully, air their grievances, clean up the park, and go home, and then start the other organizations. So why is that these white folks who went to Washington, why do you think they thought it was a good idea to go in and start a riot and kill people? How did they get to there?
I think they got there because they felt that their white privilege was going to get them off, okay? And more than likely, that's been the case all their life. They've been getting away with a lot of things because of their privilege of being white. And so, and that's a good question. Analogy even with the Million Man March. Their setup for the Million Man March, they had all kinds of police there. They even had police on horses, okay? And Minister Farrakhan actually had over 1 million people that showed up. And they didn't have not one incident with all of our black people there. And yet, not even one, hardly even any news network covered it. And that's the sad part, you know what I'm saying? They undervalue and underestimate what we do as a people. But then you see this insurrection or sedition that happened on January 6th of this year, 2021, right? Yeah, 2021. And now they're going to try to treat them or with a baby glove. No, that is wrong. And it's a big difference in how the police response is to black people compared to white people. And that's a reality that we need to make sure we deal with.
Yeah, and you're right about that. What activities have your organization been involved in since you started? I know I've been to some of the functions. Just give a brief, little detail of what you've been involved in that Black Lives Matter Dayton has been out there on the front lines. Just tell a little bit about what y'all been doing.
Well, Black Lives Matter Dayton, what we try to do is focus on local issues when it comes to civil rights and also voting rights. And so there was a few instances that we've had here in Dayton where people reached out to us. And what we do, we will help them along, make sure that they're getting the resources that they need to make sure that they're able to get some answers to their issues answered. And so there's so many things that we did, I can't even think of them, but I will say this, we did get involved in voting in the 2020 elections. We definitely pushed that, okay? And then on top of that, we also helped out with the Georgia vote. We couldn't be down there because of the COVID, so myself, for the most part, did text banking. And so actually did 115,000 text messages to Georgia voters to make sure that they get out and vote for the Senate runoff. And so those are some of the things that we do. There's so many, I can't even think about them.
Well, I know, because I've been to some of them myself. Now, Carlos, how can people contact your organization if they're seeking information? Because I know you're a clearinghouse of information. If people want to contact Black Lives Matter Dayton, how would they go about contacting you?
Well, our platform for Black Lives Matter Dayton, we are on Facebook. However, it's unpublished now until maybe another week or two from now, okay? But you can also contact us through Urban Citizens for Social Justice on Facebook. There's a button, a send me message, a button that you can send us a message. Definitely reach out that way. And if you have any issues here in Dayton that you need us to respond to, I mean, by all means, contact us, because we want to make sure that whatever is ailing you, if we can help, we're going to give you those resources to make sure that you get your help.
Yes, sir. Well, Carlos, I thank you for appearing on the show. I thank you for the information. And if you're out there and you view this and you want Black Lives Matter Dayton to investigate an issue that you may have been involved in, you can contact Carlos. Give them contact information one more time, Carlos.
Yes, Urban Citizens for Social Justice on Facebook. Reach us through there, and maybe in a couple weeks, you'll see Black Lives Matter Dayton platform back on there again, okay? It's all for a certain reason. So, like I say, contact us, because we want to make sure that your voice is heard. That's what the platform is for, to make sure that your voice is magnified. Normally, it's suppressed through the media, but we have a Facebook platform. We're going to use it to the best as we can.
Well, Carlos, I appreciate you coming on, and in the future, we may have you back. I know I will have you back, because we're going to be involved in having some truthful conversations on race. We're going to talk about white supremacy from the root, because you only can kill a weed if you pull it up from the roots.
There you go.
And white supremacy is the weeds we need to kill. So I'm going to have you back on the show here in the future when this covert leaves. Hopefully it'll be leaving soon. The numbers are going down. That's a good thing. So keep doing what you're doing, Carlos. I appreciate you, and I'll have you back on the show at a later date.
Appreciate you too.
All right, we're on to our next part of the show. It gives me a heavy heart to make this announcement, but I'll make it. If you all should know by now that Commissioner Idosa Bootsy Neal has passed. Bootsy Neal, as she was called, she was a commissioner for the city of Dayton. She was the first black African-American woman to hold that position. She left a legacy that's it's hard to fill. She also was instrumental in revitalizing the Wright-Dunbar area. She also, with the Dayton Dragons baseball team, in her tenure, along with the other city commissioners, she balanced the budget. She also was a mentor to women and girls who wanted not only go in politics but other areas. She did so much stuff. She was also involved in Central State, Central State West. Bootsy Neal will be missed with her passing. She was a giant. If you need anything, you can call Bootsy, and if Bootsy can help you, she will. If she didn't, she had the resources to tell you where to go and do what you had to do. So she will be missed. Hopefully, right Dunbar area, maybe they can, do something in her honor besides laying a brick down in the cement. Maybe, because she was a giant, and she will be missed. So I just wanted to make sure that I honor the passing of Bootsy Neal, because, I've always been involved in local politics, and she was the one politician that I looked up to. I followed her lead. She always had a smile on her face. I don't think I ever seen her get angry. If she did, I never witnessed it. So she did pass, and my heart is heavy. And like everybody else in the city of Dayton, their hearts are heavy. And she will be missed. Bootsy Neal, Idosa Bootsy Neal. Thank you for your service, and may God bless you, and may God bless your family. So we're going to move on from that, and we're going to go to the scam report. The scam report this time is lottery and sweepstakes. You know, everybody like to play lottery, everybody likes sweepstakes. Well, here's what's happening. Some of these scammers, they contact you either via email, text message, sometimes phone call. They say, oh, you want a big lottery jackpot or a big sweepstakes. You want a sweepstakes. In order to get the sweepstakes, they need some information on you. Here comes the scam. The information is they want your banking number, they want your address and your house number and all that other kind of stuff. Don't give these people nothing. If they say you want some money, you tell them to send you the check. You know, don't do that either. Don't tell these people nothing. Just hang the phone up. It's a scam. You haven't won anything. Especially if it's a sweepstakes or a lottery, which you didn't play, and they said you won. You can't win if you don't play. So this is a scam. So if they contact you through these robocalls, phone calls, emails, postal cards, throw that stuff away. We all know what the legitimate sweepstakes games are. You see them plastered on TV where the people get out their car with the roses and the big old check and, hey, you won I think it's Publisher Clearinghouse. That's legit. But these other things, be careful of this stuff, y'all. These people are preying on folks, you know, because they know people are hurting for some money. And, you know, if I can give a guy, you know, $100 to get $100,000, oh, man, that's a win-win. If it sounds too good to be true, it's not true, all right? Because it sounds too good. Don't get hooked up on this stuff. And the other scam I want to go into is a banking scam. Now, this happened to me. What happens is I got an email, and it said the bank I dealt with, there's some problems with your account that's been canceled. And I'm looking at this thing. I was like, oh, this is not right. So as I further read, they said, oh, you got to contact this number and give your information. And I said, no. See, the bank I deal with, they have a fraud unit. Most banks do have a fraud unit. They will contact you either through phone call, email, and to let you know that there's something wrong with your account. Don't fall for these stuff where people just arbitrarily, out to random, send you an email. That's not how it worked. You know, and it wasn't even an official bank email. It was a generic email. So watch out for those generic emails with the bank, because that's not the bank. You know, if anything wrong with your account, don't answer that email, all right? Go to your bank and call your bank and see if there's anything wrong with your account. Do not answer that email if it looks like it's generic. You know, so mostly, you know, our seniors who don't pay attention, you know, pay attention to this stuff, y'all, because the scammers, they're out there. As my grandmother used to say, the devil is busy. And you can sure rest your soul that the devil is busy. So watch those scams, y'all. And I'll be back with some more scams on future shows. The vaccine is in town. If you haven't got your shot, I think it was 80 and over, what they started with, age groups, and then it went to 75. I think now we're at 65 and over. So it's getting down there where, you know, the general population is getting there. It's getting to my age group pretty soon. But I'm going to give you just a short list of places that you can call or either go online and try to, you can try to sign up to get the vaccine. You know, this COVID vaccine, some of these places are filling up. They fill up fast. But if you check back, you know, from week to week, you can probably get a date. And don't let nobody charge you for this stuff either, y'all. Remember, I keep telling you, it's free. So let me run down a list, and I'll go kind of slow. So if you want to try to write some of these health networks down that is given the vaccine where you can sign up. The Kettering Health Network, they have a website. It's called ketteringhealth.org/coronavirus. That's ketteringhealth.org/coronavirus. You can go there and sign up. Premier Health, premierhealth.com/vaccine. That's premierhealth.com/vaccine. Sign up there. CVS Pharmacy, CVS.com/immunization/COVID-19-vaccine. Let me give you that one again because it's a long one. CVS.com/immunization/COVID-19-vaccine. Drug Mart. Drug Mart is discount-drug discount-drugmart.com. That's discount-drugmart.com. Kroger Pharmacy. The Kroger is kroger.com/Ohio COVID vaccine. And there's a number for Kroger's. If you want to jot this number down, it's 866-211-5620. That's 866-211-5620. That's Kroger Pharmacy if you want to sign up for the vaccine there. Myers also has a vaccine. It's the website is clinic.meyer.com. That's clinic.meyer.com. And you can sign up on their website too. Walgreens, they also have one, which is walgreens.com. Walgreens.com/find-care/vaccination/COVID-19. Or you can call Walgreens at 1-800-WALGREENS. Now, I know I'm going pretty fast. This is tape, so you can replay the tape and you can get these websites down. Community Health Centers of Greater Dayton. They has a number you can call, which is 937-461-6869. That's Community Health Centers of Dayton. The number is 937-461-6869. And they have 6 locations. Also, the last one I give you is Five Rivers Health Family Center, that is. And their website is www.fiverivershealthcenter.org. Did you get that? www.fiverivershealthcenter.org. And they also have a number at Five Rivers Health Family Center, which is 937-503-5664. The number again is 937-503-5664. Now, this is just a limited places where you can sign up for the COVID-19 vaccine. There are some more out there. You just search around, but I just want to get people started where you can find these places and sign up for this vaccine, because the more the age goes down, the more people that's going to be signing up. So make sure if you don't get it one week, call back the next week. They may have some appointments available then. Also, West Dayton, we got some development coming in West Dayton. Economy Linen plans to invest $20 million in a West Dayton building, a new state-of-the-art laundry facility, which is going to create about 70 new jobs. So Economy Linen, and it's going to go right there. It's Germantown and McCall, right where the old Nipco steel plant used to be. Right there as Germantown and McCall come into each other. That's where the facility is going to be. It's going to be a 78,000 square foot facility on 2100 McCall Street. And it's going to streamline their operations. So this is a good thing for West Dayton. We always want some development, and we got some. So, and Economy Linen, this business has been around for 90 years. And that's impressive. It's been around for 90 years, so they're going to be there. And so it's going to also have employ about 70 people. It should be completed by 2022. That's when it should be completed and up and running. So look for that to come. There's development on McCall Street. There's also another company that also invested on McCall Street in West Dayton. So investment is coming. I know people say, man, where's the investment in West Dayton? It's coming, folks. And Economy Linen is just proved that it'll be there. So dog license. If you haven't got the dog license yet, here's some good news. You still got time. The dog license, you have until July 1st. It's been extended to get your dog license. Make sure you get your dog license. Now, the reason why it was extended is because it was provision in the Ohio Emergency COVID-19 Relief Legislation enacted in November 22nd. which extended the deadline 5 months. So you got until July 1st. Now, all dogs over the age of 3 months are required to be licensed. Now, make sure you get that license now, because they used to double the fine if you didn't get it between a certain month. So now you got until July. So make sure you get your dog license. So if your dog get lost, they can find it back to its rightful owner, because from what I hear, these dogs ain't cheap. these dogs cost a lot of money. So I know you don't want to lose your dog. I know you love your dog. Get your dog license. You got until July 1st to get your dog license. How many of y'all remember the blizzard of 1978? Now, that's about 43 years ago. I remember this blizzard. I think I was in grade school or somewhere along in there. But anyway, the Great Blizzard, I wanted to bring this up because it happened in January 26, 1978. And we just got finished with the month of January. And this blizzard, you talking about a blizzard. Now, a lot of you young people, you ain't going to know what I'm talking about. But just look it up online. It dropped more than a foot of snow in a single day. And the Dayton Daily News had some records that about this blizzard. It was an area record for snowfall in one day, and it totaled so much snow that people had trouble doing just very basic things, because the snow created 25 feet snow drifts. Now, that's a big old snow drift, 25 feet snow drifts. You couldn't travel, and a matter of fact, you couldn't travel, you just had to stay where you were. And the university, who was this? Miami University basketball team, they was returning from a game and from Toledo, and they couldn't make it, and they had to stay in the city jail of Vandalia because they couldn't get to a hotel. So the Miami basketball team had to stay in Vandalia City Jail because they couldn't make it home. That's how bad it was. There's about a dozen people died from this storm. I think there's more than 51 deaths across Ohio from this storm. And for the first time in 65 years, they couldn't deliver the mail because of this blizzard of 1978. So I just want to bring that up. I didn't want that anniversary to go past without people realizing that we had a big blizzard and shut down everything in Dayton. Moving on to some national news. You remember when President Obama wanted to have put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill? Well, President Biden has picked that back up. He's speeding up the process to redesign the $20 bill and take Andrew Jackson's face off of there and put Harriet Tubman's face on that $20 bill. So when President Obama, he talked about it, he wanted to do it, but there were some folks in Congress who slowed up the process, and then we got a new administration, and of course you know how that hot mess turned out. So we got a competent administration now with President Biden, Vice President Harris. They're trying to get Harriet Tubman on that $20 bill, because Harriet Tubman did a lot. I always remember that phrase. She says, I freed a lot of slaves, and I could have freed more only if they knew they were slaves. That's powerful. And if you didn't see the movie Harriet, I suggest you see that movie, because this lady, you talking about strong. I don't think God made a stronger person than Harriet Tubman. This woman was strong, and she deserves to be on the $20 bill, and take Andrew Jackson off that $20 bill, because he was a slave owner, and a rootless slave owner at that. And I don't have any use for those people. So hopefully Harriet Tubman, pretty soon we'll get some 20s with Harriet Tubman on it, and that'd be a nice gesture, and she'll be around forever. Other thing in national news, the Biden administration also has appointed Christine Clark. Christine Clark, if you don't know who she is, it's an historic appointment to the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice. Now, you may remember Lonnie Guinier. That name might have came up back in 1993. When Bill Clinton was president, he nominated her for that post, but there were some issues, and he withdrew Lonnie Guinier's name. She would have been the first African-American to hold that spot, but Christine Clark she is being nominated for the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice. Christine Clark, she presently serves as President and Executive Director of the National Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law, and also served several years at the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund, Inc., and she also worked as a federal prosecutor where she handled police misconduct, police brutality, hate crimes, and human trafficking case. So she has a track record of tracking these things down and making sure justice is brought to an unjust situation. And she said her power is from the GOD to basically work for the people and representing the power of nonviolent protesters who call out racial and social injustice. So she hears your voice, she hears your cries. Hopefully we can nominate Christine Clark. She will get the nomination for the Civil Rights Division at the Department of Justice, and God knows we need somebody with some sense to run these and man these departments, because they're so important today as we see the racism, white supremacy, conspiracy theories, and some bunch of people who has just done lost their mind and believe they can do anything, any kind of way they want to do it without any kind of consequences. We've seen that. That's what happened in D.C. on January the 6th. And we have Congress folks who's going along with these white supremacist groups. Remember their name. If you get a chance to vote them out of office, make sure you vote them out of office the same way you did Donald Trump and the rest of his henchmen and the rest of his crews. They're gone now, and good riddance. We done put the trash out. So remember, your vote count. Remember that these people, especially Republicans, are trying to deny you the right to vote. They're doing it in Georgia. I'm gonna bring that up on the next show. In Georgia, they're putting all kind of suppression laws into place to try to prevent you or try to make it harder for you to vote, because they know that if black and brown people stick around, people of color, if we vote, most likely we can get the person elected whom we're voting for. These people know that. That's why they're doing this stuff. But we're not going to let them turn us around, folks. We're going to keep that same energy we had when we voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're going to keep that energy, and we're going to make sure we're not going to let nobody turn us around. So thank you for viewing. Hopefully I'll be with you next week, well, next couple of weeks. And until next time, may God bless you and your family.